Hello and welcome to Dinis Guarda, citiesbac Open Business Council YouTube podcast series. It's a pleasure to be here again, profiling some of the world's most achieving personalities, people leading ideas, pushing boundaries on sustainability, but as well showing us that you can make a difference, that you can actually go and show the world that it's possible to do more on a positive environment, and as well creating more bridges that can actually show the best and the possibilities. One of the things that I like to do is achievement greatness. And I think this is about great minds and achieving greatness, but as well to look at the problems and understanding how can we find solutions to the problems. And this series of podcasts, we've been actually profiling 150 something plus personalities around the world, and still in the beginning. And we are looking forward to show as well people from all over the world, different cultures, different backgrounds, but special people that are special because of their passion, their dedication, and their achievements as well. So today, I'm quite excited to welcome to our series, Selena, that is the founder and CEO of WSAFE Impact Venture. And she's a powerhouse from Vietnam and Asia that has been looking and working in the areas of impact innovation, venture builder, sustainability. She's as well an angel investor. She's been very focused on the ideas of tech for good, and as well how to take entrepreneurship and mentor to startups and to create ecosystems. And as well, she has a particularly interesting package and in terms of expertise that touches incubators, VC, deep tech, new food, which is quite interesting because of Vietnam as well, food, med tech, environment, and plant-based innovation. So in terms of some of her achievements, besides of course being the founder of the WSAFE, which we're going to be talking, she's as well the creator and founder of the No Waste Vietnam, an organization that she's been working to reduce plastic waste and CO2 emission and creating more positive climate interactions. She's as well part of the Tech Fest Vietnam as the head of International Village. She is part of the Asia Regional Startup Mentor, and as well working part-time and mentoring startups and different circular innovation organizations and founders and entrepreneurs. And has been as well focused always in creating initiatives that can actually look at climate change, environmental and sustainability in these areas, and been working with organizations like Airbus and a lot of other organizations. She's as well part of a lot of international bridge ecosystems between Vietnam, Asia, and the world, which I think is particularly important because there's still a lot of, I think, exotic concepts about Vietnam, but the reality is much more dynamic with a population close to 100 million people with a lot of things. So I'm actually looking forward to learn more and as well to learn about the achievements of Selena. So welcome to our series, Selena.
I'm very honored to be here. And this is wonderful, like today we in middle of the pandemic and many countries get vaccine and still Vietnam, we are looking for, to recovery economies. But 1.5 years passed and every, business leader, entrepreneur, we still doing, hard to, not only focus on our business, but from the other as well. And for today, I would like to share, firstly, my background. I study business development, marketing, and nutrition, and many different, from in Vietnam and the other scholarship around the world. And more than 15 years, business development, director, country and religion. And then last 10 years, I start my business. I start different business like F&B beverage. And then I start educations because I think like without educations, that is the first things people should take care from the poor and from people with better, income. They're still changing their mindset and everything from education. So I start one startup education like 8 years ago. That time Vietnam in innovation ecosystem very still quick and not officially, yes. And then later I start one organization, climate and environment, because I look at around Earth, like Vietnam is one of the 6 countries get damaged from climate and plastic everywhere. And they're aware of the young people still not very thick about climate and plastic stuff, you know. So I say, my background is not environment, my background is not climate, but we can do from small, you know, step by step. So we start with small team and then we grow. In first year, we already take it 12 province and city and then 10 countries the next year. Then we working with higher level to try to change in the policy, working with Montreal Ministry of Environment and Nature Resource, you know. So our team working really hard on that. And then next step, we think that is not enough. It's our organization is doing the thing for the countries, not enough. So we have to do something. We're helping the people who are doing something similar with us. So our strength is innovation, tech, entrepreneurship, and the network. So what to do? So working in innovation ecosystem around 10 years in Vietnam and the other country as well. So I think one incubator or accelerator, that's good. So you can have 100 businesses per year. That's a big and scalable. So we start with a team. We are investor. We are from background tech, science, and background education. So we are 6 people, co-founder together, put small money in this organization, and we start. And a lot of startup, a lot of activity we get involved afterward. So I think it's not about your background, it's not about your professional, it's about your mindset. You know, you want to change, you start from the problem, you see and you witness it, and you want to be responsible. You know, even you have to need a lot of people to support you, to work with you, to team up with you, and a lot of challenge going on, you know. And but we are happy, we're working 14, 16 hours per day, you know, like weekend, a lot of workshop and conference. Me and my team come to the state, government state, event, conference, and the big international one and university, you know, to aware. We only wish to aware people to take care our home earth, you know, the forest, the river, you know, the healthy food and agriculture, that's all. So when we launching our program, almost 2 years for WSAFE, that is incubator, including accelerator, people really excited and they want something, you know, because there are no sustainability incubator in Vietnam. Yes, only from like UNDP. So we are private one, and people, you know, like email and talking, they want us to face-to-face meeting, like that is what we want, like someone not only talking or use some training program, but some organization can hand on every project. For the young people, they lack of many things, but they heard and their mind want to change. So we're happy and they're happy, we're working together. So from that moment, we say that is our mission, that is our blood, we have to follow with it. Yeah, some short and long introduction. That's why I'm so passionate about entrepreneur, passionate about environment and climate.
And I know that there's a passion in what you're doing, but as well a fantastic achievement. So can you tell us about WSAFE first, and as well some of the organizations that you're working? I think especially WSAFE is particularly interesting as an impact venture builder. But for people that never heard, because of course, most of people when think about startups, they think London, New York, probably Singapore and Hong Kong, and of course Silicon Valley. But they forget that especially Vietnam is a huge population. They're quite young, very entrepreneurial. And I saw from my own eyes and as well from my experience, how powerful the things you're doing over there in the country that has been going through a lot of challenges, but right now is becoming a powerhouse economic and one of the fast growing economies in the world.
Yeah, Vietnam is too small, and even in the map or ecosystem, we haven't mentioned yet, only mentioned in South Asia, like the third after Indonesia and Singapore. But we are like a young baby of innovation ecosystem. 2016, we are just officially announced that we build innovation ecosystem in Vietnam. So only the 5th year. And for myself and my organization, we start earlier, and people don't know that is right. Like that is the number of startups is growing and growing because the population of dynamic people and people hunger to learn, hunger to challenge themselves, hunger to provide solution. And now after 5th year, still young, we cannot compare with like Silicon Valley, Singapore or Korean and Israel, but we always better yesterday. Today always better yesterday, and we helping each other a lot. Like that's why in ecosystem people know each other. Startup know on of us. So that's why when we go out, we have a conference or meeting or small workshop. People know each other. They support, even cash, even time, even anything. That is the culture of innovation ecosystem of Vietnam, especially in the big city like Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi and Da Nang and Cần Thơ, the biggest city of Vietnam. So, like as ecosystem builder like myself, we try to make a lot of time to talking with the people, like what they need, And from our WSAFE, we not only working with individual entrepreneur, but we also working with university, because there are so many projects that they only just limited. Sorry. We only limited for entrepreneurs who already working and running the other successful story. But from university, like student or lecturer, professor, scientist, they left behind because university they don't have enough resource to make the solution be reality. So who can I go there to help them? Who can I give them the business model, the idea and the operation idea? So we go there, we talk to every project leader or the team. So we help them, give them 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, we have to be very patient, There are many very good projects, even from students, like medical, healthcare, a lot of very good ones. I mean, it's not about my opinion, but the fact that their solution become reality now, only after one competition. And pharmacy company, they bought the whole project to acquire in their company. So I mean, it's not my opinion that's their good project, but it's reality. So if we go there, meeting the right people, they are by science based or tech based, so we can help them. So when you mentioned about venture builder, like people know incubator, people know accelerator, people know venture capital, but venture builder is very new. Venture builder is mean we together with them build a venture, a company, a business, a solution. So it means we working with them like a team, like a co-founding team. It's not only giving 3 months accelerating or 6 months incubating, but we working hand on hand, even on the product, on the operation, on the HR, on the marketing plan, everything they need to keep the business survival and grow. So it means we put the name venture builder so people can know that we will be our co-founding team. We will be hand on with you guys. So different and take a lot of time and energy to work every project, And we want them to grow, firstly to survival and grow and expanding. We don't want just 3 months and then we left, and then another team come. We don't want that. We want the good product and good people grow and develop. So that, when that a venture builder is mean, and happy that the team and the startup founder team of many businesses, we are like family now because we spend a lot of time together. We feedback every stage of the business. So that is what we have very good connection with the founding team of any business they get involved with it.
So that's really impressive. And so one of the things that I have here that I'm particularly interested, so you are as well behind a couple of initiatives that I mentioned in your bio. So like the Tech Fest Vietnam and as well the Asia Regional Startups Mentor for the Incubation Network. So can you tell us a bit about how do you see the ecosystem of startups and VC in Vietnam and in Asia, Southeast Asia, but Asia in general, where you are involved?
So talk about TechFest. TechFest is held by Ministry of Science and Technology of Vietnam. So I get involved in innovation ecosystem since they just start. So that way we know each other. We working only one mission, to make the business startup of Vietnam grow globally. So I joined TechFest last few years, but last 2 years I joined as the head of international village and helping to build a program connecting ecosystem from Vietnam to the world, from the world to Vietnam. So last year quite successful, but still COVID. So we run the hybrid event and conference, and we connect a lot of like Nordic innovation ecosystem from Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. And next year we're gonna build a lot of different programs together, country to country program, helping Vietnam get out of the border, and the other country can come to our to exchange program or to target the markets. So that is our purpose. And a part of innovation jam, that is ecosystem of Asian, when they build a program called Asian Innovation Jam. So they build another program called Startup Incubation around Asian. So they're helping green startup to grow. Usually they funding and then helping to connect with mentors and VC around Asia, even the other country, to use that solution to tackle like plastic, environment, water, agriculture around Asia. So I joined that program at invitation at a just and mentor quite a few years. And the other organization, as you mentioned, Sister Global Program. I'm fascinated about Africa markets. I already in Asia, but I attend a lot of programs for Africa, a part of Sister globally. And the 6 year already get involved. That's why I know a lot of international startup. That's why our WSAFE become international program, not only for local markets, but we expand very quick after only 2 years. So when I attend this global program, I learn a lot. I sharing, but I learn a lot from startup, from the other VC, the other entrepreneur. So that is a change for myself and my organization to adapt new culture, new knowledge, and new market, to leading in Vietnam out of the world. So that is our purpose. And luckily, we get involved deeply with the network and organization.
Fantastic. So one question related with the work you've been doing, especially in Asia Pacific startup ecosystem. So mostly in terms of course, Vietnam. So can you tell us a bit about how it works, the startup ecosystem over there? Because of course, from abroad, I know quite a lot because I've been quite involved and we have a small team over there. But one of the things I've been finding out is the quantity of innovation is really astonishing. First of all, because of young population, but then there's a huge amount of startups being created, both by a lot of founders, like you mentioned, and organizations like yours, but as well, people are very entrepreneurial over there. So can you tell us a bit more about that for people that don't know much about the ecosystem, both on the business ecosystem and the startup ecosystem of Vietnam and over there in the area of the region?
Thank you for your question. So from Vietnam, we're growing every year 1,000 startups more. And then the VC getting more and more to the local markets. First 5 years, they are difficult for policy when the VC to build business here, but the government get easier and they expand and they open mind to change that policy, because we only 6 year innovation ecosystem, right? So right now, more VC, more startup, even startup from Korean, from Philippines, from Thai, from France, US come to Vietnam a lot. Talking about startup Vietnam, also startup Vietnam come to Singapore. As you know, there are more VC in Singapore than startup in Singapore. So they come there, But the big markets in Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, we have 100 million people, and money they stay in Hong Kong and they stay in Singapore, so they go there. But now the policy changing not only in the biggest city like Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, but even Da Nang. They open the chain to VC to go there, or even FDI. You know, I mentioned both business and startup. So FDI, you have more opportunity at a VC, at an investor to go there. Even angel investor, we open for investor special to make the country, you know, clean and greener and better, you know. So we come back with the ecosystem. As an ecosystem builder, we have the very close network to each other, from investor to startup ecosystem builder, mentor, and policy maker and government entity. We are working together, even like in a meeting. We're gonna find out what is the best solution to bring startup get better, go out of the country, go globally. We can learn more, take science solution like vaccine, like medical, healthcare, education, or digital transformation. So we, in this COVID, we have a lot of small conference meeting virtually to find the best solution, how to use the domestic result and connect with global result to make Vietnam better and well known, and to show the world that we are not small country, or even with small country, but we always want to connect the world with us and want to bring us to out of the world, out of the country, and we want to welcome investors to the countries, and we're always changing everything, you know. The limited is the data of ecosystem is not connected. When you try to find out the ecosystem of Vietnam, you know, how many incubator accelerator, it's difficult to find exactly number because we have, but we don't publish it, and government still find the best way to make a gate the world can come to see how ecosystem of Vietnam showing the data and the number. So the data is not connected. That's why we're working every day to not only helping the founder entrepreneur, but we're helping the ecosystem get stronger and more connected to each other, so the world can see and easy to adapt to the national market. For investment, we have the big number of angel investors, but they haven't have the mindset of invest in startup, because startup is so risky. So that's why now we're building many different programs, even helping investors to understand more how to invest in startup, how to understand tech and science and new solution, new digital transformation, you know, because the money is everywhere. A lot of angel, but they invest in like real estate, coin and trader, you know, stock, but not investing in startup. That's why we have the number of big startup, but early stage dying 90, 92, 95%. And the spirit of entrepreneur, of young entrepreneur, of new, you know, dynamic people, they still ingredient, but we need quartering it, we need to fertilizing it, we need cash from early stage. So that's why two very limited, that's the data of ecosystem and angel investor networks, big number, but not really investing in startup or even early stage startup. That's why we want to do something on it. That's why we welcome the world to come here to build a program, to collaborate with us to build this program, so we can attract a lot of cash from, you know, the market, to helping not only startup in Vietnam but around the world. And also we want to bring the investor to invest for global startup as well, not only local startup. That is the mindset we want to have people to changing, or to understand, or to aware more.
Yeah, so I want to touch a bit of that, because from an international standpoint, it's very difficult to find, like you mentioned, find information about Vietnam. So for instance, Vietnam, if you look at the industry, is I think the number 2 or number 3 biggest textile producer in the world. And this is numbers that are quite impressive, even compared with, of course, after China and so forth, but it's at a massive level. But there's very small information about, if you, let's say, if you want to invest over there, you really need to know how to speak Vietnamese, or at least to have a very strong background there. So can you tell us a bit about that? Let's say for investors listening to us, they want to invest on Vietnam, or at least want to know more how to engage in the startup ecosystem, how to create engagement, a bit of that background, because of course you have quite experience, but as well knowledge that is quite unique on that area.
For the international investor, I think they should working direct with the embassy by in capital or consulate, trade commission, so they can guide to the right organization or the official organization like Ministry of Science and Technology or Planning, Investing, or like Ho Chi Minh City direct, the big city, you know, if they target the top biggest city like Ho Chi Minh City, they can contact direct to their consulate, so their consulate can contact to department Ho Chi Minh City of Technology and Science. You know, they're very open, but the data, like we mentioned, you know, very, you know, it's not disconnect, you know, so it's hard to connect to the right people, you know. So, or even some smaller investor, they can using the tool from Facebook, very common here, you know, very common, or linking. So they can searching, you know, but bigger, they can go direct with big organization like government or the other already like VC or innovation center or like Saigon Hub, you know, like that is kind of well known. So they can searching, they can know. And people were very helpful and friendly. And language also a barrier, you know, when you working with smaller city or growing city. But big city like Hanoi and Saigon is better. People mostly, they can speak well and communicate in English. And now mostly event conference, we use dual language. So foreigner, they can see it, you know, if they really want to put their leg in the country for a long-term development, long-term investing.
And I think it's a good tip, because I think sometimes you forget that, and it's not easy, but I think it's key if you are investing. And I know that, for instance, textiles is a massive powerhouse, but there's all the industry. So I want to touch, so you've been very committed towards sustainability, and especially the areas of that are very keen to your heart. You mentioned that at the beginning, that combines both technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, and the relationships with sustainability. And of course, you created the No Waste Vietnam. So can you tell us about that initiative? And I know that has been that especially CO2 emissions in Vietnam are very, very strong, and is a cause of death as well over there, like around the world as well. It's not just Vietnam, but I know that you've been doing a lot of work on that. So could you tell us about that work?
Yeah. So when we talk about environment and climate, people used to think about how to plant more trees, right? How to reduce the plastic. That only some solution and problem we can see directly, but people, not many people can see in agriculture, food, fashion, that use more water and chemical that impact to climate or make the climate crisis go faster. So why we talk about sustainability, but get involved more tech and science, because we want to bring out solution. The best solution can helping agriculture to use less water efficiently, and helping not only water but farmer to get better in their business. So when we have them, we have the climate, have the earth, and for the WSAFE, you know, if people here they're searching and they can see why you choosing 15 industry and 15 kind of tech and science to attract the startup who apply that, because this is the top industries use more land, water, and chemical. That's why we are climate, but we use the tech and science to target and to bring the solution, direct or indirect. Like people don't really know much about fashion. Why we have to change the way we production or consumption stuff, or why we focus on food, because like people consume like beef, and now we have the new alternative, beef based on mushroom and bean, something like impossible food. They're already doing very well, you know. So when you want to have a long-term solution, the science and technology, the best solution, and that encourages education, entrepreneur, and the government and investor, who are more important element to get involved for this global problem. So when people, honestly, not many people want to invest in climate, because they say it takes so much time and risky and many things. But when they talk about science and tech solution, they can sell to globally market. They're very fascinating. They're very excited, and that is something very value, you know. So we choose this one. We have another climate and environment organization, but that's not enough. Mostly like media, mostly education, but we want solution. When you have problem, not only talking or aware, but we want solution to show that problem. So that is one different, but one thing connected.
So you touched a couple of very high profile things that I wanted to touch. So for instance, in one of the interviews that you did in the past with Hanoi Innovation Summit, you mentioned as well, for instance, some of the work you've been doing in terms of the No Waste Vietnam, especially as providing free consulting, training enterprises about the Green Office, and free training in schools and environment, and cooperation with organizations and replant coral. So this is quite a big work. So can you tell us some concrete results of that work? Because of course, with a so young population, these kind of things can have a big impact, because of course they're more digital, so they can learn faster, but it can actually change the next decades of Vietnam and as well in Asia in general, the results from a business perspective and entrepreneurial.
Yeah, thank you. So for No Way Vietnam, the organization we launched in 2018, early 18 from 17. And when we think about environment, people usually target on the user, the consumer, but they don't target on producer. And that's why we're working with the top MSCG in Vietnam, the multinational countries, company like Coca-Cola, Tetra Pak, and Nestle, LaView. We're working there with the CEO and chairman and the chamber. And we're working with Vietnam Airlines and Airbus to firstly talking with them, and they have a big plan. So one, they can change the very big number. You can call every day 100 ton, 1,000 ton. They can reduce CO2, water, and plastic. You know, so even the first month we're working with MSCGs and the top biggest supermarket in Vietnam, like Lotte and Saigon Coop. They have 100 supermarket and store around the country, 500. So if you touch one big guy, you already change the big picture. And when they change on over media. So that's why we're working with them. And you know what? Not every month, but every week, we're working with a big company. I fly direct to Hanoi or different city to talk with them, to bring the solution and without any cost, any fee, so they can push faster. But not only us alone, but we're working with Ministry of Environment and Nature Resource. So we're helping them at the same time. So they support us back. That's why we make research faster to make them changing, like from plastic to glass bottle, from plastic food gapping to banana gapping food, you know, like, because why this so going so fast? Because there's no time. Plastic everywhere, micro plastic everywhere, and the ocean on the big plastic, you know. If you come to Vietnam, sometimes it's so painful, you know, and other, you know, entrepreneur like myself who responsible, I cannot stand. It takes year to year, you know. I have to make as fast as possible. So that we are doing, you know, and the team strong and they are very helpful and very young as well. And first year we have more than 12 province and city have our branches and running a lot of activity. And mostly they are young entrepreneur, even very young student. They are getting involved representing every province and city of Vietnam to doing this activity. So I'm glad that the team is doing very good, and you know they're very committed and they're very excited that they get involved and make the impact. Special student is more important generation we want to touch.
No, and I think it's really one of the critical things that I do as well on my YouTube podcast. So one of the things that I'm particularly excited, although you don't mention that a lot in your LinkedIn profile, is that you've been working as well, and you touched that a bit right now, in plant-based solutions. So can you tell us, I know that I love food and especially quality food, but especially the Vietnamese food is very good. And then I think it's one of the things that is still not very, let's say you have the Italian food, you have the Thai food, you have the Japanese, but I think the Vietnamese food can grow much more. But as well, one of the things I found out is the quality of the products. And like you mentioned, a lot of solutions. So you have been working in plant-based solutions and as well engaging in some of these things. Is there any kind of highlights that you want to talk or startups that are working on this? Where can you find some of these things?
For the plant-based solution, yes. Not only for sustainability purpose, but the trending of the world is changing. And even right now, a lot of farming company in Vietnam for livestock, half Vietnamese and half foreigner FDI investing. So we want to help them to aware about the changing of generation of eating healthier and better and saving climate at the same time, but also helping them to save their cash at the last minute, because the next generation, they tend to eat healthier and more plant-based than beef or pork. At, you know, the culture of Vietnam, we eat a lot of pork and chicken and seafood. And we have to prepare for next 10 years. Right now, if you count the land-based startup doing new food, you know, you can't find out in Vietnam. Only few they doing like material, but not end product. So when we talk about new food and land-based in Vietnam, is, you know, not many people knowing. They don't know it, and that's why we have to do with university where they know they are professional about science. We start the product from there. So from that stage, people knowing and investor already looking for at, you know, Series B, C, D. Like we have one investor, they are BE, so they looking for 10 or 20 mil for one deal. But even now, early stage, we don't have anything yet. So we start from very early, very patient, you know. We have to make the competition about a plant-based solution so that student and young entrepreneur, they can apply in our program, so they can bring the idea, some very, you know, very early idea, some very good ideas, some like very, you know, strong idea, but we always, you know, encourage them, you know, to just join and they can get a better, you know, mentoring and jobs and advising, so they can grow and develop their idea. So that is 5-10 year, you know, purpose planning. It's not just 1 or 2 years, because there are no exit in the market yet. So, and many people asking me, why you choose something like so difficult, because the market doesn't have any startup like it. So that was our strength, to start from very early, you know, that the first farmer, you know, in the land. So, but we're happy to doing something very new, and the world already doing. It's not like we start from very beginning.
Yeah, I think it will be one of the biggest industries right now that is going to emerge from everything happening around the world. So I know that we are passing 1 hour, so I just have one or two more questions if you still have some time. So the first thing is, so from the work you've been doing, especially related with in mentoring and startups, how do you see the ecosystem? You mentioned that there's 1,000 startups being created, at least in Vietnam, and I know that there's millions of companies over there. So what would see the engagement that you see from these startups? You mentioned the universities as well. So do these new companies are more focused on textiles and more focused in kind of innovative, and for instance, you have as well deep tech on your portfolio. So can you tell us some startups or some case studies that you want to highlight for us that you can actually research or at least find for the people listening to us, and as well how to engage with your venture building organization?
Yeah, like some from medtech and smart city, there are some very wonderful solutions get involved in us, and some from biotech that we're working on almost 1 year now in our ecosystem in portfolio, and even they very early, but the team is very good and the solution is new. Even the product or services can get late, but we focus more the team that they have good background and the commitment and the passion and integrity and how hard work they are. That's more important. We want to have them in this journey.
The other question was if you have
Yeah.
any kind of case studies that you want to highlight, especially
Yeah.
so let's say some startups, let's say 3 or 4, some names that you want to highlight
Yeah.
from your ecosystem.
Like we have one smart city, like e-parking, smart e-parking. One, yeah, they early stage and they get involved both software, hardware, AI, and blockchain. That kind of complicated, and that's why it takes so much time to go from before MVP to MVP. Even right now, almost MVP. And another medtech, MedHub, they also good. They have user and they have revenue, and the next crowdfunding, the next Series A, and the other biotech and deep tech from university, like supplement for the skin and healthcare.
I think it's very interesting. So last thing in terms of WSAFE and the venture. So where can people find about the organization, about you? Of course, you are on LinkedIn and social media, but I think it's good to hear from you. And as well, how can engage with you? Because I think you are, one of the things you are is that you have a huge global network, but you are as well a very open to, like you said, venture building is about precisely creating relationships. But can tell us a bit about that, how we can engage and people listening to the interview here.
From LinkedIn, yeah, can find me on a LinkedIn. I'm very, like engaged there, and even Facebook and fan page. My team very engaged on there, and immediately in few hours, we have the connecting, and the other international program, like Sister Global Network Mentor, so they can go there to find me there, and some the other program. But you can find me Selena, so they can see LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitch, and yeah, that's most officially, so they can find easy. And for WSAFE, they can find out, and TechFed, they can find out on the TechFed as well, like another speaker or heard of program, so they can find out on there. And that is a national program. So I think when they come to Vietnam, they're gonna searching the top conference in Vietnam, they can find out TechFed, so they can easy to find out. And for myself, LinkedIn is the best, and my company website and fan page if they're using, and Twitch.
So just on TechFest, can you tell us when is the next one? I know that there was one a couple months ago, but just when is the next one? And see if you can tell us some information, because I think it's a very powerful festival.
Yeah, next fest, usually every year we have about 10 to 20,000 people visit and engage. And every year they organize end of November to December. This year, the first week of December, organized in Ho Chi Minh City. Mostly they organize in Hanoi, and before that in the other province. But now the first time they come to Ho Chi Minh City, and it's held by Ministry of Science and Technology, but coordinated and organized by many organizations, mostly the head of incubator, accelerator, or VC, or government entity. So from TechFed, it's not only for domestic startup, Tech Fest and conference, but we are global program. We bring startup from many countries, and they launching a program in Silicon Valley, in Europe, in Korea, in Singapore, and some other country as well. So the next few months in December, hopefully we can hold the hybrid event like the other time, and can bring more speaker in reality who already vaccine and come to the country. Last year we had hybrid, you know. So the speaker come from like 10 countries in our section only, you know. It's exciting, but we want interfere with the people in reality, you know. So, and Tech Fest, like international village, we can build our own section, not only for between investor and startup, but between global ecosystem builder together, like Europe, North American, Africa, Vietnam, Asian together. And we bring in our section, we have consulate, we have embassy, we have chamber, we have big corporate, we have VC, we have all the ecosystem and startup founder and university institute, we have everything there. So people can know the whole picture from Vietnam and to the world.
Yeah, and in your LinkedIn profile, you have as well some link to some of the previous program, and it's quite an impressive program. And 15 to 20,000 people is a big audience, especially touching these areas that we've been discussing here. So thank you so much, Selena. It's been an honor to have you here. I learned a bit more about Vietnam and about your industries. I will probably research about the plant-based food. I'm trying to go more in that direction, and I think it's a big industry as well. And we'll put all the links to your companies and organizations. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dinis.